So let's begin by offering our respects to the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay. So, happy to see here with us. We have Bhumika, then we have Rajan, we have Anita, Deepa, we have Devina, we have Hema, we have Karuna, Lal Milwani, and we have Lavina, Meena Bharwani, Bhavani, Ritu Lalwani, Saket, Shivani, Sandra, Usha, Varsha, and Venkatesh Prabhu. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. So what did we see in the previous class?
I missed it.
So we are on chapter 2, titled Contents of the Gita Summarized. And in the previous class, we saw verses 13 to 17. Yes. So in verse 13, Krishna spoke about how the soul is, how the body goes from boyhood to youth to old age, Kaumaram to Yauvanam to Jara. And what happens? Krishna says, Then at death, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. And a sober person should not be bewildered by such a change. So here he's talking about, say in 12, he spoke about the eternality of the soul. When he said, never was there a time when I did not exist. So here he's talking about the eternality of the soul. And here he's talking about how the soul is continually passing in this body. The body changes. And then when the body is no more, the soul takes on another body. So here in this section, Krishna continues to defeat the compassion argument of Arjuna by talking about the spirit soul. Then in 14, Krishna talks about tolerance. He's talking about how just as how the winter and summer seasons come and go, in the same way, happiness and distress will come and go, and one should learn to tolerate them. Why we should learn tolerance is because if we are overly excited when there is good news and overly disappointed when there is bad news, then it perturbs our mind, it agitates our mind, and any kind of agitation for our mind is not good for our bhakti. So in order to concentrate on our bhakti, we need to keep the mind peaceful. Therefore, tolerance is very, very important. It's a good quality to have. Tolerance does not mean that one is a coward. Tolerance actually teaches us how to persevere, how to continue to engage in activities despite some hindrances, despite some difficulties. So therefore, tolerance is a good quality to cultivate. And then what is the result of tolerance? If we are tolerant, then what do we get in return? Krishna explains in the next verse. He says that one who is not disturbed by happiness and distress, he is steady in both. And I mean, one who's steady in both happiness and distress is eligible for liberation. So that person can attain mukti for the same reason that when the mind is not agitated, we can concentrate and focus on our bhakti, and therefore we can be eligible for mukti. Then we discussed how from verse 16 up to verse 25, or is it verse 20? Yeah, 25. From 16 to 25, Krishna is talking about the vision of the seers of truth, tattva darshinaha. How does one who know the truth, how does he see things? What is their angle of vision? So that is in this section from 16 to 25. Krishna will continue to discuss this topic. And in 16, Krishna is talking about two natures, the spiritual and the material nature. So the material nature is non-existent, Krishna says, and the spiritual nature is eternal. Only that continues to exist. And then in 17, he's talking about that which pervades the entire body is indestructible. So what is it that pervades the entire body? What is it that makes the body conscious is the soul. What is the connection between pervasion and destruction? We discussed in the previous class. Does anybody remember that? Connection between pervasion and destruction. We gave a few examples. We discussed how one object can kill another object or destroy another object by pervading it. So we spoke about how a bullet pervades the body and kills, isn't it? Another example we gave is how water enters the body of a drowning man, and the man dies because the water has entered his body. Or termites enter the tree and can destroy the tree. So destruction can happen by pervasion, but nothing can pervade the soul. Nothing can pervade the soul pervades the body, but nothing can pervade the soul. Therefore, the soul can never die. Okay, so today we'll continue from verse 18 onwards. Does anybody have any question before we proceed? Okay. Who can read today?
I can read.
Okay. Was that Bhumika?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's start here. Let's do the shloka.
अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत.
Translation. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata.
So Antavanta, Krishna is saying Antavanta is perishable. So he's saying that this body, Antavanta ema deha, so ime deha, so this deha, this body, Krishna says is perishable because it is material. Anything that is material is going to be destroyed, whether it is the devatas or whether it is the material world or whether it is these material bodies. Only that which is spiritual will eternally remain. So the spiritual world always remains, the spirit soul always remains, the Lord always remains. Okay, so Krishna is saying that the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. So he's urging Arjuna here to fight. He's encouraging him to fight by saying that the body is destructible, perishable, but the living entity is eternal and immeasurable. So the soul cannot be measured, he says, and it is eternal. Now, is there something in the shloka which is a contradiction or which appears to be a contradiction to what we learned in the previous class? Anybody can spot it? What is the contradiction or apparent contradiction or appears to be a contradiction in this verse to
So
what
the
we learned in the previous class?
The material body is always destructible and it's not eternal. But in this, it says the body is indestructible and eternal.
No, it doesn't say that the body is indestructible. It says that the material body of the indestructible. So the body of the soul.
Okay.
Okay, so that's no contradiction.
Okay.
Anybody else wants to try? Did we discuss the size of the soul in the previous class?
Yes. Yes.
So what is the size of the soul, we said?
The point of hair.
Yeah. What about the point of hair?
The tip of the hair, 1 point, I don't know, 1.3
1 by
or something.
10,000.
1 by 10,000. Yes. So 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair, we said, is the size of the soul in the previous class. So what word here is a contradiction to that?
Immeasurable.
Immeasurable. Yes, very nice. Because here Krishna is saying that the soul is immeasurable. But actually we measured the soul in the previous class. We said that the size of soul is 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. So now how to understand this? So are we contradicting what we are saying? How to understand? So it is immeasurable by material calculations. Okay. Materially, nobody can get the soul out of the body, place it under a microscope and see how much it measures. That's not possible. So by material ways, we cannot measure the soul, but spiritual ways, yes, because the Shastra tells us that this is the size of the soul. And because it's coming from an authoritative source, we accept the size of the soul as 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. So materially, it is immeasurable. Okay, so this is how we understand this. Okay, 19.
ययेनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते
Translation. Neither he who thinks the living entity, the slayer, nor he who thinks it's slain is in knowledge. For the self says, slays, not nor is slain.
So neither who thinks the living entity, neither he who thinks the living entity, the slayer, which means one who thinks that the living entity is the one who is killing, or the one who thinks that the living entity is the killer, or one who thinks that the living entity or the person who is conducting the act is the one responsible for killing. Okay, or one who is the doer of that activity of killing. Neither that person, nor the person who thinks it's slain, nor the person who thinks that the person is dead is in knowledge. Which means if a person says that it is I who killed, or if Arjuna says that I am going to kill or I will kill, or if he thinks that the opposite person is going to die, then it is an ignorant statement. That person is not in knowledge. That person does not have the correct knowledge, Krishna is saying. Why? Because what Krishna is telling to Arjuna is, irrespective of whether you fight the war or not, irrespective of whether you kill them or not, anyway they are going to die. Anyway they will die. So you don't think that you are the one responsible for the death of the opposite, of the people on the opposite side. And don't think that they are going to die, because they are spirit souls. They are going to get a brand new fresh body, which is in their favor only, because they will get a better body, because they are dying on the battlefield and they are dying in the presence of Krishna. So they are going to get a body better than the body that they currently have. And neither should Arjuna think that he is the one who is the doer, because Krishna had told Arjuna at the start of the war itself that anyway, you are going to win the war. The Pandavas are going to win the war. These people on the opposite side, they are actually going to die, irrespective of Arjuna fights the war or not. So Arjuna should not think that he is the doer, that he is the slayer, he is the killer. And if Arjuna is thinking like that, then Arjuna is in ignorance. He is not in knowledge, Krishna is saying. Now, of course, this does not mean that I should think that I am not the doer, I am not the killer, and the person anyway will not die. So that doesn't mean that Krishna is encouraging us to kill. We should not misunderstand. Any unauthorized killing will definitely get us the karmic reaction. Now, Arjuna is authorized to kill because he's a Kshatriya, because he is fighting the war under the direction of Krishna, under the instruction of Krishna, and it is a war to establish dharma. So he is authorized to kill. But if one kills without authorization, then one will be punished by the karmic laws. Just as how a soldier, if he kills in a war on the border, then he will be awarded by the government. But if he is going to kill a civilian on the road, then he is going to be punished. So the act of killing is the same, but there it's under authorization. In the war situation on the border, it's the act of killing is in a war situation, and he's doing it under the authorization of the government of the land. So therefore he's awarded. But the same act of killing otherwise, in a normal situation, there he is not authorized to kill, so he will be punished. So therefore killing should always be done under authorization, not as and when one likes. Let's go to 20.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
So Krishna continues to very clearly make the distinction between the body and the soul, so that there is no confusion. We should clearly be able to understand that they are two different things. So here, see, Krishna is saying for the soul, there is neither birth nor death. He does not come into being. Now, what is the difference between coming into being and neither birth I mean, taking birth and coming into being, are they the same thing? Is Krishna repeating the same line or the same words again, or is there a difference between the two?
The difference between the two.
What is the difference between coming into being and being born? Or coming into existence and taking birth?
There is a difference.
What is the difference?
When you are born, you come into the material world, you exist. But being born, that you start doing your karmas. Right?
Immorality, I cannot pronounce the word. Immorality, something like that.
Immorality or immortality?
The first one.
So immorality is what? Immorality is one without morals. We are discussing about...
No. I want to go somewhere else. Which I made a mistake. I'm sorry. It's like one who, I mean, how they say that the soul comes out from, gets liberated from this rebirth process. I don't know what's the real word you should call it.
When the soul gets liberated from the rebirth process, then the soul is liberated. He enters the spiritual realm.
That's what you said, right?
No. The difference here is difference between coming into existence and taking birth.
Maybe is it when you're born, it's just the it's just the material birth, but when it's coming into being, meaning when you acquire spiritual knowledge, and
No.
if
No. See, because here what Krishna is saying, he's saying for the soul there is no birth, and he's saying the soul does not come into being, or he has not come into being. The soul has not come into being because he has always existed. So still the question remains, what is the difference between the two? Let's try to understand this with an example. Have we taken birth?
Yes.
Yes. Have we come into existence?
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Now the child in the womb, has he taken birth?
No.
When the child is in the womb
No.
of the mother.
No.
Has he
No.
taken birth? No. But has he
No.
come into existence?
Yes.
So now we know the difference, isn't it? The child in the womb has come into existence, but he has not yet taken birth. But once he comes out of the womb of the mother, now he has taken birth. So there is a difference between the two. Okay. So he's unborn. So you can never say that the soul is born, because there was never a time when the soul did not exist. Okay. The soul is eternal, always existed in the past, will continue to exist in the future, and exists even in the present. So he's ever existing, always existing, and primeval. He's the oldest of all that exists, because who can be older than the soul? Because the soul has always existed. There never was a time when the soul did not exist. So he is not slain when the body is slain. The soul is not killed when the body is killed. Only the body dies. The soul does not die. So say these characteristics you can also apply to the Lord, no? Because even the Lord is unborn. The Lord there was never a time when the Lord or God did not exist. So what is the difference? Are we equal to God? Some people say that we are equal to God, and after liberation we become God. But that's a very, very incorrect statement. We can never become God. Irrespective of whether we are liberated or we are conditioned here in this material world, we can never become God. Eternally, we always remain the servants of God. That is our eternal position. But there are some similarities between God and us. What is a similarity? The similarity is in the quality. The similarity is not in the quantity. So we are all Satchit Ananda. The soul is eternal. The soul is conscious, and the soul is always blissful. So is the Lord. The Lord is eternal. The Lord is conscious, and the Lord is always blissful. You will never see a pure devotee morose. You will never see the Lord morose. Okay. So the Lord is Satchitananda. Even we, the spirit souls, we are Satchitananda. So we are qualitatively the same as God. Just as how if you have a mountain of gold or you have 1 small gram of gold, they are the same in quality. But now there is a difference as well. The difference is in quantity, because this is just 1 gram and this is 1 mountain of gold. So we with the Lord are the same in quality, but there is a vast difference in the quantity. Quantitatively, we can never be equal to God. Okay, so quantitatively, we always remain the servants of the Lord. Another example of this is water in the ocean. And when you take 1 cup of water from the ocean, now the water in the ocean and the water in the cup is the same in quality. If it's taken to the laboratory, both will have the same minerals in the same proportion. But still, there is a vast difference in the quantity of water that is in the ocean and the quantity of water that is in the cup. So we are qualitatively the same, but quantitatively, there is a vast difference. This is a very, very important concept that we need to understand and also remember. So the body, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that the body is subject to 6 kinds of transformations. It takes birth from the womb of the mother. It remains for some time. Then there is growth. Then it produces some effects. Then it dwindles. So dwindles means there is old age, and vanishes into oblivion means there is death. Now, what do you mean by body produces some effects? What could this mean? Who can say?
Disease.
What's that, Ayush?
Disease.
Not disease. Disease is, it gradually dwindles. So when there is disease and old age, it dwindles, it deteriorates.
Offsprings.
Offsprings, yes, children. When we have children, then they are the byproducts of the body. So produces some effects means we have our children. That's what it means. But the soul does not undergo any of these transformations, only the body. The soul always remains the same. So there are 2 kinds of souls, Anu Atma and Vibhu Atma. We always say Atma, Atma, soul, but actually there are 2 kinds of souls. The Anu Atma is the minute particle soul, that is us. And the Vibhu Atma is the super soul or the Paramatma. Both the soul and the super soul reside in the core of the heart. And when death occurs, both the soul and the super soul leave the body. Whether it's a human body or the body of an ant or the body of Lord Brahma. This is what happens at the time of death. What did we say is the size of the soul? 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. Nobody asked, I thought somebody would ask, what is the size of the super soul in the heart? What do you think? Does anybody know the answer?
No.
Size of the super soul is the size of your thumb. Okay. The size of the thumb is the size of the super soul. So now somebody may ask, then how come the super soul in the body of the ant is existing? Because how can a thumb-like figure exist in the body of the ant? The ant is so tiny. So then how to answer that question?
It shrinks.
How to answer that question?
I have a question.
Yes.
Means you said that a minute particle soul and super soul are both in ourselves, or
It is in ourself, also in the heart of all the living entities, all the human beings, all the animals, all the plants, all the aquatic, every living entity, anything that's alive and conscious. So it is in the heart of every living entity. So each of us have our own super soul.
both the souls, all of them are having, isn't it?
Yes.
Then how come means they say only, as you said, that super soul? Where does the super soul means the super soul is, and where is minute particle soul is?
Both are in the heart.
Both are in the heart.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the question is the size of the super soul, we said, is the size of the thumb. So then how can the super soul reside in the body of the ant? Because the ant is very tiny. It doesn't, the whole body of the ant is nowhere near the size of the thumb. So how to answer this? Okay, so the size of the super soul is proportionate to the size of the body. In our heart is the size of the thumb, but in other living entities, it is proportionate to the size of the body of the living entity. Okay, Srila Prabhupada explains this in the Krishna book. Okay, anyway, let's get back to this. And what is the difference in the consciousness of God and the individual soul? Both are conscious, both are Satchitananda, both are Chit, right? But God knows past, present, and future, but the soul is forgetful. And Krishna knows past, present, and future of not only his own self, he knows the past, present, and future of all the millions and trillions of living entities. But we don't know even our own past. Forget our past life. We don't even remember what we ate for lunch yesterday. So we are forgetful. But Krishna is not forgetful. The Lord is not forgetful. The super soul is not forgetful. So therefore, this is the difference between the soul and the super soul, or the living entity and the Lord. Let's go to 21.
Veda vinashinam nityam ya enamajamavyayam katham sapurushah partha kam ghadayati hantikam.
O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill?
So one who knows, or one who has this knowledge about the soul, that the soul is what Krishna says, the soul is avinashi, indestructible. Then he says that the soul is nityam, always exists. Then he says that the soul is ajam, unborn. And he says that the soul is avyayam, immutable. Then how can a person who knows all this, how can he kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? Krishna is telling Arjuna. See, it is the nature of every living entity that nobody wants to die. Even the least intelligent living entity, if you try to kill a living entity or try to kill even a small ant, immediately the ant will try to escape death. Any living entity, actually, nobody wants to die. So we should try to understand what is the reason that we do not want to die? What is the reason? The reason is that we are spirit souls and we are not supposed to die. We are not meant to go through that excruciating experience of dying, because we are spirit souls. So if we ask the question, why is it that I do not want to die? Then we will try to understand I do not want to die because I am spirit soul and the soul never dies. So our fear of mortality is a pointer to our immortality. Our bodily misidentification has imposed fear on us. Because we identify with the body, therefore we fear. But actually there is no need to fear because we know that the soul will never die. By Bhakti Yoga, we can realize our spiritual immortality and transcend the fear of death. So the only way we can transcend the fear of death is by realizing that we are spirit souls. And how can we realize? How can we come to that realization? By engaging in bhakti. The more we engage in bhakti, the more we will understand this concept. See, there are two things. One is to theoretically understand, and the other is to apply the knowledge. It's called jnana and vijnana. Theoretical knowledge and application of the knowledge. Theoretically, we may understand, okay, fine, in the exam, soul is eternal. But are we applying that knowledge in our everyday life? It's very important to also apply the knowledge. Just as how, let's say I study and I qualify myself to become a lawyer, but I don't practice it. Then what is the use? What is the use? I also have to practice it so that I can use the knowledge. Yeah, Shivani, you have a question?
So you said jnana and avijnana. Jnana and avjnana.
No, jnana and vijnana.
Vijnana. So Vijnana means applying it,
Yes.
applying the knowledge.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so Jnana means we have the knowledge.
Yes,
Vijnana means applying the knowledge.
correct, correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Let's go to 22.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and the useless ones.
So here Krishna is explaining the process by which the soul moves from one body to the other body. And what is the example he's giving here? Just as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones. So after we have a bath, we change, we don't wear the same clothes that we were wearing before, isn't it? We wear fresh clothes. Why? Because the old clothes are now dirty, they are smelling, and we just need to wear fresh clothes. So just as how we change our garments, giving up the old ones, similarly, the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So when the body is too old, when the body is too useless, then the soul takes another material body. Generally, that is the rule. Okay, we have two hands raised. Bhumika?
It says that giving up old and useless ones. So what about the person who go in early age?
Yeah, so old and useless ones is the general rule. The usual rule is people die in their old age. Now, there are some cases, of course, where people die young. So there are so many other factors that come into play. The karma or the lifestyle of the person. Even one's lifestyle contributes greatly to how long a person is going to live. If one has a sattvic lifestyle, definitely it extends one's age, one's ayu. Does that answer your question?
I have a question.
Okay. Yes, Divya?
What about people who follow sattvic life and also they have an early death?
Yeah,
There
so
are
as I
people-
said that there are many things that intertwine, and there are many factors that come into play. See, sometimes maybe somebody is a pure soul and he had to just spend 10 years in this material world to finish up the last tiny fraction of karma that is left over. So he comes for 10 years and then he goes away. Or maybe a soul had to just spend a few months in this material world. So therefore, probably the woman had a miscarriage, because that was only fraction of karmic balance that was left. Or maybe it is also the karma of the person. So there are many factors that are combined. There is not a one size fits all thing. Okay. But definitely statistics also will tell you that if you live a sattvic lifestyle, it contributes to a longer lifespan.
I have one more question. When a person dies,
Yeah.
they say that the soul remains for 12 days, right? Does it take a new body immediately, or it has its time period, or it has its journey to get a new body?
Yeah, see, usually it's again, a lot of factors are there. If the person is a sinful person, then he has to go to the court of Yamaraj. Then the Yamaraj will give him a certain punishment. There are description of hellish planets in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So depending on how sinful the soul was, he has to spend a certain period of time in the hellish planets, and then he may get the next body. So it depends on what is your karmic balance. Usually
Because
they
when-
immediately get.
Even if they're devotees, they would have to go to hell?
If one is a devotee, see, if one is a devotee, then there is only one way. Now, there is only one way going upward to Goloka, if one is a pure devotee. Or, of course, one may be a pure devotee and deserve to go to Goloka, but probably he doesn't desire to go to Goloka because he wants to stay in the material world and preach and help the other conditioned souls. So there are two factors, what we desire and what we deserve. Or if the Lord wants to send a pure devotee on a certain mission. Because not everybody who walks the material world or walks the planet is a sinful person. Probably there are, not probably, but there are definitely certain people who are pure devotees. They deserve to be in the spiritual world, but they are here because the Lord has sent them, or they are here because that's what they desire, to stay here and give their association to the other conditioned souls.
In one lecture, Prabhupada has said 80% of population is sinful.
80%?
80%.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Kali Yuga. Yeah, Shivani, you have your hand raised.
Oh, no, that was from before, Motherji. Sorry.
Your question is answered. I'm sorry
Yes,
I
yes.
kept you waiting
Yes,
for long.
yes. Yes, you answered. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, can we... Okay, so coming back to our shloka. So just as how we change our garments and we put on new garments, in the same way, the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. See, there is a fundamental law of physics that says that energy cannot be destroyed, but it can change forms. Now, how do we apply this to the shloka that we just learned? When it says, what is the energy here and what is the form that is changing here?
The energy is the super soul and the change is the form of human body or body.
Yeah, change is the body. Very nice, Ayush. So the body is changing, but the soul does not change. So this law of physics says that energy cannot be destroyed. So the soul is the energy, it can never be destroyed, but it can change forms. So the forms are the different kinds of bodies that the soul can take. From the body of the ant, the rats, even the worm in the stool, or human beings, or even the body of Devata, or the body of Lord Brahma. So it can change the forms. So we, the soul, are the energy and the body is the form. When our current form, the body, is destroyed, we move into another body, another form. Okay, so these things we have already discussed. You can read it later. We have already explained these points. Okay, so death is a comma. It's not a full stop. It's not a full stop. It doesn't bring an end to our existence. We are just transitioning from one body to another body. That is what is death. Now, the transition to another body may be for a better body, it may be for a worse body, or it may be for the best body. Which is the best body to get?
Spiritual body, transcendent.
Spiritual body is the best body. Which is a better body than the human body? Better than human, but not the best. Which body is that?
Devi Devata.
The body of the demigods, Devi Devatas. That is better body than human body. And what is the worst body than human body? Downgrade? Animals, birds, aquatics, trees, anything. Okay, because amongst all the living entities, the human body is the best. Better than human body is the body of the Devatas. Of course, the best body is the spiritual body. Yeah, Bhumika, you have a question?
No, it's solved.
Okay.
Mataji, can I ask you one question?
Yes.
So if we have a pet, let's say, and if we are chanting or we are letting them hear Prabhupadaji's chanting, does that mean that next body they will get a human birth?
Yes, definitely. If one starts off the devotional service in this lifetime, human body is guaranteed in the next lifetime. So even if we cannot go the full way and attain perfection in this lifetime, if we at least start off on the Bhakti Yoga process, human life is guaranteed. And even if somebody doesn't want to do Bhakti, but he indirectly or unknowingly engages in some Bhakti process, like hearing, like you said, hearing, or even if you serve somebody prasad, even eating prasad is a devotional activity. In the dhams and all, even for sleeping, you get spiritual credit. Imagine. Even in Sridham Mayapur, my Guru Maharaj says that even if you sleep in Sridham Mayapur, you are getting spiritual credit. So unknowingly, one may be a hardcore atheist visiting your house, but if you serve the person prasad, he has started off his devotional life. So powerful it is. So if we start off, at least human life is guaranteed for us.
And that includes for animals as well, right?
For animals as well, yeah, even the animals can benefit, but with I don't know if after the cow, I know that the cow's next birth is that of a human being, but that I don't know. I've never read, but it appears that the statement is correct. But I've not read it.
Knowingly or unknowingly, if they eat prasad, even then they'll get the human life.
Yes, definitely. Knowingly or unknowingly, you do any, not only prasad, but any kind of devotional service. Prasad also very, very powerful. Definitely they will get you. They have started off their devotional life. See, the thing about engaging in bhakti or devotion is that we start off in the next life from where we left off in the previous life. So let's say I can do only 5% in this lifetime. In next lifetime, I will start from 6%. So my spiritual bank balance is not lost. Not lost. That is the mercy of Krishna. Okay. So if somebody has started off his devotional service in this lifetime, knowingly or unknowingly, doesn't matter. He has to carry on from where he left off in the previous lifetime. No. And he cannot carry on devotional service in the body of an animal. So therefore, he has to get a human body. And therefore, human life is guaranteed if you do devotional service in this lifetime. Okay.
So, Sanam, the 9 ways of devotional service is the right way of following bhakti process, right?
Yes, you can do any one of the 9.
Yeah. And if you follow all 9 is the best.
If you, of course, there is no limit. Yeah, Pavani?
Yes, Mataji, you told that, okay, when a person starts bhakti, and if for some reason he discontinued his life, in next lifetime, it depends on where he borns, right?
Yeah, if he has done a lot of bhakti and he's a sincere soul, then he will get birth in a family of devotees, where he is brought up in that atmosphere, where he will be raised in such a way that he will be made a devotee by the parents. But if it is not so strong, then he may get a human birth. But because human birth also, there are so many varieties. No, being born to a Indian Brahmin family or being born to a Vaishnava family is more privileged birth than being born in an meat eaters family, for example, because he will be the child will be raised on meat, and for the child it's very normal to eat meat until the child can come in touch with a devotee, come in touch with the books, and come to that realization. So even human birth, there are so many some privileged human births and non-privileged human births.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Whose microphone is causing this?
And one more question: what about the body when he's in his last days of his journey, and he's been listening to all the spiritual sounds, spiritual lectures, bhajans, and
Yeah, if he's listening to bhajans and lectures of bona fide people, authorized people, because if he's listening to lectures of a bogus guru, then that's not going to help him. If he's listening to lectures of authorized gurus, then definitely he has started off his devotional service.
so in that, you said that when the person is leaving his body, the last thing is functioning is his hearing, right?
Yes.
His listening. So does he understand what he's listening?
Even if he doesn't understand it, the sound vibration is entering the ears and going to his consciousness. Even if he doesn't understand, even if he's in coma, let's say one person is in deep coma. But if you keep audio very close, see the first, as you said, the last sense to fail for a person who's dying is the hearing. He may not be able to open his eyes, he may not be able to speak, but definitely he can hear. A person in coma can definitely hear you. So if you keep an audio of a bhajan or a class of a bona fide guru very close to his ears, the sound vibration will enter his ears and it will definitely benefit the person. And that's the reason why we insist that if you know somebody is going to go, then you can do these things, wear the tulsi neck beads around his. Actually, tulsi neck beads we should have 24/7. We wear it 24/7. If you have tulsi neck beads around your neck at the time of death, you will not see the face of Yamaraj. You will not see the face of Yamaraj. So that's why, so we wear it 24/7. But if you know that somebody has not worn it throughout his lifetime, then we insist that please use neck beads, place the Bhagavad Gita by his head side, because the Yamadutas recognize a devotee by these signs. These are the signs of a devotee, having Tulsi Mala, the Bhagavad Gita or the audio. So the Yamadutas don't go close to such people, because that is the instruction that Yamaraj has given to the Yamadutas. Don't go close to the devotees of the Lord. There is a story of Ajamila. I will show the video today if the time permits. Otherwise, we'll see the class, the story in the next class, and we will understand more about Yamadutas and Vishnudutas.
Mataji, I have a question for you.
Yes.
That how do I know that this Tulsi Mala is the real Tulsi Mala?
Oh, you have to purchase it from a bona fide source. I always purchase my Tulsi Mala from ISKCON.
And who is that bona fide store? Or
yeah, so I don't know about the others because I have never bought from other sources. I have always bought it from an ISKCON temple, and I know that it's genuine Tulsi.
Oh, okay. So we have to find out who's a bona fide seller.
Yeah, because many a times they pass off even animal bones. They polish it and they color it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, because you can't trust anybody these days.
Yes, yes. So I purchase it from ISKCON temple, or I order it online from ISKCON sites.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea to order from ISKCON temple.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Shivani?
Yeah, so right, just now you were telling us about, the births we get. Either we can be born in a Brahmana's family or a Vaishnava family or a meat eater. So what can one do with devotional service going on that it's if next birth is given that we, are born in a Vaishnava family?
Maximize the devotional service. You have to maximize the devotional service as much as you can.
So that includes chanting, that includes deity worship, going to temple, serving the Vaishnavas.
Yes.
What about like when you give Lakshmi for temple and stuff like that, that counts?
Yes, yes, even that counts. Everything counts. Each of these things that you just mentioned, everything counts. Even you pluck a flower from the road, you pluck the flower from the tree, you come home and you offer it to your deities, even that is made note of by Krishna. Even that. Even one who cleans the toilet in the temple, he gets spiritual credit. There is no difference in the eyes of the Lord of someone who's cleaning the toilet in the temple and one a Brahmana who's doing the puja, who's the pujari or who's giving a Bhagavatam class. For the Lord, they are all equal because he sees them as doing devotional service.
So then wouldn't be the pujari who's 24/7 giving bhoga, doing aarti more dear to
the Lord? No. The Lord, see, every devotee, actually every living entity is dear to the Lord. Okay, even a sinful person is dear to the Lord. But of course, the Lord has a soft corner to one who renders devotional service. Now, those who are rendering devotional service, doesn't matter whether you're rendering devotional service by giving a Bhagavatam class, or you're rendering devotional service by distributing a book, or you're rendering devotional service by cleaning the toilet. The Lord does not make any difference. It's the sincerity that counts.
Okay, thank you so much.
I have a question, please.
Yes. Okay, wait. First, we'll go for Pavani because she has her hand raised since long. Yeah,
yeah, Srinama. For example, a person for his entire lifetime, he haven't chanted Hare Krishna mantra or he haven't prayed to any god. But at the end, on his deathbed, he started chanting or praying to Krishna. What's in that case?
If at the time of death he's taking the name of the Lord, definitely he's heading for Goloka.
Oh, okay. Even though
he should not, but that doesn't mean that one thinks that, oh, I can enjoy all my lifetime. Puri zindagi mein maze karunga. Last mein I will take God's name. It's not going to happen. You cannot cheat the Lord. Okay. Because what comes to our mind at the time of death is that what we practice throughout our lifetime.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, yes. Now, yes, Lal.
You mentioned that if, there are certain souls who just come for a very short period of time, like a woman who has a miscarriage and something. You remember you mentioned that
Yes,
just.
yes.
So you mean to say a person who lives long is paying for his karma?
A person, no, not necessarily. Again, see, that was just one of the cases, that probably the soul that was living in the womb of the mother,
Yeah.
it probably just has that much of that fraction. But the other what do you call it? The other alternative may also be that that person was so sinful that he could not even see the light, and he had to go in darkness. For example, a woman, if a woman or anybody who's involved in an abortion where one purposely kills the child in the womb, then that person has to take several births in the womb of living entities, but will be killed without even seeing the light. So it can be two extremes of the one who's had a miscarriage. Probably very simple and is not able to see the light for many lifetimes, many wombs, many abortions he has to go through, or probably that was just a fraction. So the law of karma is very complex. We cannot say for sure that this is the reason, or that there are many, many options. It's very, very intricate. You cannot understand.
No, that's the thing, because it's not like a person, it's not that one who lives long is paying for his karma. It's never going to be like that, no? No,
it's never going to. Say long life depends on many, many factors, as we discussed. It can be that you're destined to live a certain number of years in that body, or maybe, see, in the case of, I'll tell you, an example is Srila Prabhupada. When he went to our founder Acharya, when he went to America, he was on the verge of his 70th birthday. His 70th birthday was on the ship that he took to travel. And he suffered 2 massive heart attacks. And astrologically, that was a time for him to depart. But he lived for 10 more years because Krishna gave him that extension so that he can fulfill his mission, or he can fulfill the instruction of his spiritual master, which was to take Krishna consciousness to the West and spread this all over the world. That's why today all over the world, anywhere you go, you have ISKCON. Okay. So in that case, in case of Srila Prabhupada, he was destined for a certain period, but because he had that strong desire to spread this message of Krishna in the West, therefore he got an extension of 10 more years. So when you bring the Lord in your life, he can change the rules of the game for his devotee.
Okay. Wow. All right, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, because he can overwrite anything. So that's why we say, like devotees are desire trees. We have that shloka, Vancha Kalpataru Yascha. So the Vaishnavas or the devotee of the Lord is like a desire tree. Why do we tell a saintly person, please pray for me? Why? Because if the saintly person prays, then the Lord is going to sanction the desire of the pure devotee. He doesn't come under any rules and regulations of karma. Pure devotee is beyond the rules of karma. He is directly under Krishna's protection.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Thanks.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Okay, so the end is just the new beginning. We are talking about death. We discuss how death is a karma, and here we see that death is not the end, it is only a new beginning. So what is it that determines what kind of body I will get? So desires play a key role in determining our cloth dress. What kind of body we get, what kind of dress we are going to wear, depends on what we desire. So our bodily dress is not only a product of our desires, but it is also a vehicle for them. What does this mean? It's a vehicle for them. Let's say somebody is very, very fond of exposing the body and coming on the covers of magazines with very less clothes. Okay.
Mode of fashion or tamagun.
Yeah. So mode of, it's the lower modes. But if this is the desire of the person, okay, next birth, what is the body he's going to get or she is going to get is the body of a tree. Because the trees are there in full public view without any clothes on, without any covering on the body. So because it's the desire of the person, therefore he has got a body which will also enable him to fulfill his desire. So The bodily dress is not only a product of our desires, which means that person didn't only get the body of the tree because he had that desire, but it is also a vehicle for them. So he has the facility now to use that body to fulfill that desire. Okay, so this is what the statement means. Why? Because the human body is not meant for such desires. Human body is meant to realize God. Human body is meant to ask those crucial questions. Who am I? Who is God? What is my relationship with God? These crucial questions we have to ask in the human body. If we are going to have these material desires or sinful desires, then this human body is going to be taken away from us. And we get the body that is going to suit what we desire. For example, if somebody eats indiscriminately, he just eats anything and everything, that person will get the body of a pig, because the pig eats indiscriminately. No, the pig eats even stool and he thinks it's great. So if you eat indiscriminately, then you will get the body of a pig, where you will be given the facility to fulfill that desire of yours that you want to eat indiscriminately. You will not get a human body because you didn't do what you are supposed to do with the human body. So every material body is a bad deal for us, irrespective of whether you have the body of Lord Brahma or a body of a Devata or a human being or less than human being, animals, aquatics. Every material body is a bad deal for us. Use the power of our desires to our advantage by choosing the best desire. So if we have the best desire, if we have this burning desire that I want to go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime, we make that our burning desire, then by the power of that desire, then we can turn the disadvantage of having the material body, turn the disadvantage to an advantage. Because by the power of our desire, we will get our next body. And then we can regain our original form, our eternal rest, our Swarupa, and serve Krishna eternally and ecstatically. This is intelligence. This is intelligence. So see, here we have this person likes to expose the body, got the body of a tree. This person likes to eat meat, he got the body of a tiger. This person loves to sleep a lot, so got the body of a polar bear. This person is eating indiscriminately, he got the body of a hog, of a pig. So what we desire is what we get. When we in the human body do these kind of activities which we are not supposed to do, therefore we get these diseases. For example, a hog eats indiscriminately, but he is never going to suffer from high cholesterol. But when we eat indiscriminately, we get these problems of high cholesterol. We don't. If the polar bear sleeps for so many months together, he doesn't get bed sores. But if we sleep excessively, then we are going to get bed sores. Because human body, we are not supposed to be doing these things. But animals, they do these things because that is their nature. So they don't suffer from bed sores and cholesterol or diabetes and these things. But we do. So if we are going to eat, sleep, mate, and defend just like the animals, then we are no better than two-legged, sophisticated animals. Sophisticated, why? Yes, we may be eating in a five-star restaurant. We may be eating in the comfort of our homes. We are not eating on the road, or we are not eating like the pig, but still. So we are sophisticated, but still we are only animals because we are not using the body for realizing God. So there are three stages of reincarnation. The soul leaves the body. You can see here, the soul is leaving the body. Then the soul, under the guidance of the super soul, travels to the next body. Then the soul finally acquires a brand new body. So you can see he is going and this child is coming. The old body is gone. Now he is receiving a brand new, fresh body. So this picture explains the soul and the super soul. Now there are two birds on the same branch of the tree. So this branch of the tree is our body. And they are both residing in the same body. Now this bird here is the super soul or the Paramatma. This bird here is the Atma, or this is us. Now you can see this bird here is busy enjoying the fruits of the tree and he's not turning towards this other bird. So we are also like this bird. We are trying to enjoy the facilities in the material world. And we are failing to turn our face towards Krishna. We fail to turn towards God. And what is the Lord doing in the heart, the super soul? He is just waiting there patiently, life after life after life after life, for us to turn towards Him. So you can see the super soul, this bird is just looking at this bird and waiting for him, patiently waiting for him. Millions and trillions and quadrillion years he's waiting across so many different bodies until we realize that, okay, I cannot get any enjoyment by these foods. I better turn to Krishna. So we can see both the birds are on the same branch. So both the soul and the super soul are in the heart or in the body of the living entity.
Sanam?
Yes.
You said that one after death, how we just go to another, the soul is going to another body. How much time does it takes to go to another body?
So that is again relative. It depends. Sometimes it may be instant and sometimes it may be after some time, depending on whether he has to suffer in hell, he has to enjoy in Swarga before he gets the next body. If we do extraordinary punya, then we can enjoy in the heavenly planets, but we have to come back because heaven is also still the material world. It's not the spiritual. Okay. So our goal should not be to go to Swarga or go to Narka. Our goal should be to go beyond that, go to Goloka. So where he goes, how much time it takes depends on how much time he is in Swarga, how much time he is
So that means if we go to Swarga, after that we have to come to this material world, or we can go to to Goloka.
So if you are in Swarga and you can engage in devotional practices in Swarga, then you can get an upgrade. Yeah, but usually the general rule is after Swarga, you have to again come back.
Okay.
But if there is a freak case where somehow in Swarga you have done some devotional service or you have done devotional service to take you to Goloka, then you can definitely get an upgrade. Okay. But usually it does not happen. Why? Because Swarga is a place where there is so much of material opulence, so much of sense gratification, because you're in heaven. Everything is so wonderful. So usually one does not remember the Lord in such circumstances.
Right. So that means I don't think so. All will be remembering there in Swarga, as you said that we have that sophisticated material there.
Yeah, it's very difficult that one remembers the Lord in Swarga, but it's not an impossibility. It can happen.
Thank
you.
Yes.
What if I want, if it's my desire to be in this world, continue living here and serve the Lord as a devotee?
Yeah, if your desire is to serve the Lord as a devotee, it's a pure desire, then the Lord will sanction your desire. Why not?
I would like to do the same service in the temple, cooking and whatever, but distributing books or whatever. And if it's, is that wrong? Or
That's not wrong. No, that's not wrong.
be...
No, that is a spiritual desire. Any desire that is a spiritual desire cannot be wrong. If you
But
have a
at the
material
same
desire, that is wrong.
But at the same time, you are in the material world, right?
It doesn't matter, but you are here because you have a pure desire that you want to serve the Lord.
Okay, thank you.
That's a pure desire. Yeah, Shivani?
Yeah, Nalati, can you go 2 or 3 slides back where you were showing when the person eats different things, what birth they get? Yeah, this one. So I was told when we are born, like a human body, we bring our sanskaras from previous life to this life. So if, like, for example, let's say one person is sleeping a lot in their youth, right? And now when they're a little bit older and they're doing devotional service, when they think back, they think, okay, I used to sleep a lot, but now I'm waking up early, I'm doing devotional service, and they change. So isn't that the sanskaras maybe from the previous life that they're bringing?
Which one, the devotional service or the sleeping? Which you're talking about both?
Maybe either both or the sleeping.
Yeah, it's both. It's both actually, because we are carrying on from where we left off in the previous lifetime spiritually. But there are also other factors. No, it depends on what kind of family you have taken birth in, whether they encourage you to wake up early or they just allow you to sleep late because even the parents are sleeping late. So it also depends on your environment, how you're conditioned. But it does not matter. It's not important, because once you take to devotional service, if you surrender even for one moment before you pass away, even that one moment, Krishna will take you. Krishna will take
Wow.
you. So it doesn't matter.
So when does the previous sanskaras that we bring in the new birth, when did they stop? Do they ever stop?
Okay, what you bring from your previous lifetime, you say samskara, I would like to use the word karmic balance. Okay, when you surrender to the Lord, everything is wiped clean. Everything is gone. Everything is absorbed by Krishna.
Okay.
The moment you surrender, everything past, gone, wiped clean. The slate is wiped clean, gone. When we take initiation, the spiritual master takes away all your past karma. Everything is gone at the time of initiation. And this is so true, because I'll tell you my own personal experience. When I received initiation, I didn't know this. Okay, I had no idea. When I received first initiation, the next day, my Guru Maharaj, he asks me, so how do you feel? And I told him, I don't know why, but I feel very light. So he said, you are supposed to feel that way, because all your karma from your previous lifetimes, everything has gone away. So it's like, a heavy burden is taken off from your shoulders when you take initiation. And I personally experienced that. After initiation, I felt very light, because life after life, millions of bodies have changed. We are carrying so much karmic load on our shoulders. So that heavy thing is there. We don't realize it. But when we take initiation, the spiritual master takes all the, so you feel light.
Living Katha.
Does that answer your question, Shivani?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter whether you were fond of sleeping in the past, but so what when does it go away? It goes away once you surrender to Guru and Krishna.
Okay, so once you take Diksha.
Yes, once you take Diksha, because you surrender to Krishna by surrendering to the Guru.
True. So, let me give you an example. I have two daughters, right? So one tends to sleep a lot and her health is also not good. And I'm trying to figure out what I can do, even if she sleeps early. She has no energy whatsoever. So then she falls into this category of, ignorance, tamasic guna. So what I can do to help her, to come out of that? So I don't know.
No. In her case, she has a medical problem, isn't it? You said that her health is not good. So in her case, it's a medical problem. What you can do to help her, as much as possible, engage her in devotional service. As much as possible, she can chant her rounds. The most potent devotional service. See, Shravana, there are 9 items of devotional service, as Divya said before. The most important are the first 2, Shravanam and Kirtanam. So what we can do to help our children, of course, they are raised on with. We cannot raise our kids on meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. We cannot do that. Okay, that is completely sinful. Now, what is a positive thing that we have to give them is, we have to engage them as much as possible in Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing and chanting the holy name. That is what will accelerate the process to the max. Just as how, say in the Srimad Bhagavatam, at the end, there is a Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Of course, the Bhagavatam is a conversation between Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. At the end, Maharaj Parikshit tells Sukadeva Goswami that this Kali Yuga has so many faults. So he is very worried. He says, how will the people attain liberation? Because it's such a fallen, such a rotten age. There is no spirituality. There is no religiosity. People don't have any proper understanding. There are so many bogus gurus. So how will the people attain perfection? So that time, Sukadeva Goswami says this verse. He says, Kaler doshe nidhe rajan, ashtihi eko mahan guna. So Kaler doshe nidhe rajan, that Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. But ashtihi eko mahan guna, but it has one great quality. What is that? Kirtanat eva Krishnasya. When you chant the holy name of Krishna, Mukta Sangha Param Rajat. You get Mukti and you can go to Param Rajat. You can go to the topmost destination. So if your question is how to help your daughter, as much as possible, engage her in Shravanam and Kirtanam. They're very, very potent. Very, very potent.
Let me ask you one more.
Yes.
Somebody who is sick or you can say seriously sick or what, and they have to take medicines which contains some chemicals or something which is not, or you can say it's non-veg or something like that. What we should leave that person, and that person said, no, I don't want to take, or because it contains this thing or non-veg or something. So we should leave, that person should leave those medicines or should continue with the medicines.
Okay, so in case it's a life and death situation, if it is a life and death situation for the person, and if there is no other alternative to that medicine, then you can take the medicine, because you're taking the medicine so that you can take care of your health. And why we want to take care of our health is because we want to live. And why we want to live? Because we have to use this body as a tool to serve the body. Okay, so with this consciousness, if it's a life and death situation, and if there is no alternative, let's say the medicine contains alcohol, but we don't take alcohol, but you can look for is there an alternative medicine with the same properties without alcohol? So look for another option. If no other option is available, and if it is a life and death situation, then the person can take the medicine, because he's not taking it for sense gratification, right? He's not taking that alcohol to satisfy his senses. He's taking it so that with the consciousness that I want to use this body in the service of the Lord. So then under these conditions, he can take it.
Okay.
So do we have karma for that or no?
No, if you take it with this consciousness, then Krishna will take care of the karma. You don't have to worry about the karma. See, again, it's all under authorization. If you have a guru, then you can ask permission from the guru and take it under his authorization. Okay. Now, I'll give you one example. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. Now, we follow Ekadasi, and scriptures say that one who eats grains on Ekadasi is eating only sin. So even if you eat prasad, but it is grain, it is rice, wheat, suji, any grain, okay, bread or whatever. When you eat grain on an Ekadasi, you're eating only sin, Krishna says. Now, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once saw one of his disciples in the temple. He didn't go out for Harinam. Everybody has gone for Harinam. He was the only one who stayed back in the temple. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked him, how come you are here? Why have you not gone for your service? So he says that, I'm sorry, Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, I'm fasting on Ekadasi. And when I fast on Ekadasi, I feel very weak. And I don't have the energy to go out for Harinam. So that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told him, okay, you eat the grains, break your fast, but go out on Harinam. So because he did that under the authorization of his spiritual master, he does not take the karma, because he just followed the instruction of his guru, who's a pure devotee, who's of course bona fide and authorized. So therefore, he will not take the karma. Does that answer your question?
And suppose if means my relative is sick and I am giving them the medicine, so even I'll be the consequence, I'll get the consequences, and or only that person will get the consequences of these medicines or something like that. Which
there would be no consequences if you are giving the medicine because there is no other alternative and because you want to save the person. And why you want to save the person is because now in your case, because now that person is not thinking that I want to use the body for seva, right? So you are giving it to somebody else. Now, what should be your consciousness by giving him that medicine and extending his lifetime is that I will try to preach to him. I will try to give him some knowledge so that he can use the body for the rest of you are giving him an opportunity. You are giving him some extra time to perfect his life before he meets death.
Okay. Acha. So there'll not be any consequences.
So, when you give it that consciousness, then you don't take the karmic reaction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the same thing if you give, a blood transplant or a kidney to an alcoholic or to a sinful person. I mean, there are too many things that comes out.
Yeah, that's why we should be careful what we are giving to whom. If we are giving it to someone and extending the life of someone, but he's using the rest of his life in sinful activities, then better not to do it. But if he's going to, if we try to preach to the person and somehow make him use the body in devotional service, then yes, you can extend. But if he's going to live for 5 more years, and imagine he's going to be an alcoholic and he's going to be committing mass murders, then who wanted him to live for 5 more years?
But how come we'll come to know? Means we say that, okay, we'll tell them to do in the devotional service or something. But if that person doesn't do, means the consequences will be finally for that person, for me, or to that person only.
So if the person doesn't want to engage in devotional service, you can make him unknowingly engage in devotional service. You can give him prasad. He does not even know that he's eating prasad. Okay. You can hear or you can chant in front of him, but he, by just hearing, he's getting benefited. So unknowingly, you can make him do devotional service.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class if Krishna so sanctions. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji, the shlok that we were supposed to do.
What's that? I didn't get you. Sorry.
The verse that we were supposed to do next was 24 or 23.
I don't know. I'm lost.
That you had up when Shivani asked you a question. Before that, you had. What verse was that? What number was that?
23.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to watch the movie, Mataji, you said?
Yeah, but time doesn't permit. That video I have to put up in a particular shloka. So we will do that in the next class if Krishna so sanctions. Okay, I have an announcement to make. On the 18th of July, we begin the month of Purushottam. Month of Purushottam, very, very powerful, very, very potent. A month to maximize your devotional service. We have been speaking so much about devotional service in this class, Krishna's arrangement. So if you want to maximize your devotional service, it's like this is the month for it. Okay, whatever devotional service you do, my Guru Maharaj says you get 1,000 times the benefit or even more. So it is multiplied several times. For example, if you chant 1 round, you get the benefit of chanting 1,000 rounds or even more in the month of Purushottam. So I would recommend, I would suggest that you please maximize your devotional service. It starts on the 18th of July and it will last 1 month. I'll give you the exact date in a future class, but it begins on the 18th of July. So what you can do, we offer ghee lamps to Lakshmi Narayan or to Radha Krishna or any Vishnu Tattva. Any Vishnu Tattva you have, or Sitaram, Narsimadev. So you can offer ghee lamps every day and read the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita every day. 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is titled Purushottam Yoga and is a month of Purushottam. So you can read the shloka plus translation plus purport. If you can't do that, you can read the shloka plus translation. If you can't do that, at least read the shlokas. 15th chapter is the shortest chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. It has only 20 verses. So it's not difficult. It's easy, but the benefit, it's unimaginable. I mean, you cannot even fathom how much spiritual credit you will get if you follow this 1 month of Purushottam. This month of Purushottam, maximize your spirituality and minimize as much as possible sinful activities. If you can't bring it to 0, at least minimize it. Okay, so this is the month that you want to take advantage of. It's like a store on sale. Let's say there is a shop that sells very expensive products, but now for 1 month it's on sale. You can take everything at 10% the original price. So who is not going to go and purchase it? Only a fool will not go, isn't it? So therefore, please make use of this month of Purushottam and maximize your spiritual activities. Now we have a program for the month of Purushottam on the 22nd of July. Those of you who are in Santiago, please do attend it. We have it on the 22nd of July at 5 p.m. in Divya Budrani's building, Sala de Eventos. Okay, and we have it with a spiritual master, with His Holiness Bhakti Bhushan Swami Maharaj. He is visiting Chile, and he has agreed to do this program for the Indian community. So I request you, if you're in Santiago, please do visit. Take this as a personal invite and attend with family. Okay, so you can prepare your ghee lamps. How we do ghee lamps? You get these satay sticks. Right, you get satay sticks and you get cotton. You buy a fresh packet and you just roll the cotton at the tip of the satay sticks like earbud. Yes, and you can dip it in ghee and you can keep it for the whole month. And every day you can offer 4 times in the feet, 2 times in the waist, 3 times in the head, and 7 times whole body. Okay, 4, 2, 3, and 7. You can offer it to the Lord starting from the feet. Every day you can do it, and then your family members, each of your family members can offer. It's not that one person did the puja in the house and that's it, you're done, ho gaya. No, each family. So if you make these sticks, it is very practical. You just take one, and even a child can offer. So please light your ghee lamps for the month of Purushottam. Maximize your spirituality. Minimize that which you're not supposed to do. Okay, so we have some hands raised. Lavina.
No, I asked before only last.
Okay.
Mataji, I have a question that if I can't read the dohas, the shloka, can I just read the gist of it? Would it have the same effect?
No, what is the reason that you're not able to read the shloka? That's the
because I don't know Sanskrit that well.
No, it doesn't matter. See, don't worry about the pronunciation. It's the Lord sees your. It's important to pronounce correctly, but it is not all important. What is important is your sincerity. What is important is how sincere you are. So the Lord is not seeing the Lord is not going to see is Neelam pronouncing this word correctly or no. The Lord is seeing what is your sincerity, what is in your heart. He sees your intention. So don't worry about that. And plus, I can put up in the group for the benefit of everyone the audio of the 15th chapter, so you can hear and see what the pronunciation is, and you can try your best to pronounce as far as possible to the correct way. Is that okay?
Yes, that would be lovely. But is there any book that they translate into Hindi the same words in Sanskrit?
I will send you 15th chapter in Hindi. I will share it in the group.
Okay, that would be very good. Thank you so much, Mataji.
No problem. Yeah, you can use any language: English, Hindi, Tamil, Sindhi, Spanish, whatever is.
I think Hindi would be better.
Okay, so I will share it in the group.
Sanam?
Thank you.
So if we don't read the chapter, the 15th chapter, listening to it is the same thing on audio YouTube?
So what is the reason that you cannot read?
No, I'm just asking.
It depends on what is the reason. No, if you cannot read, then you can hear, but reading is the best.
Because it says Kirtanam Shravanam, right? Even if you read, you hear, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, but sometimes when we hear, we are probably not paying full attention. But when we say it, our tongue is vibrating the sound vibration.
Okay. And another question, what is the correct way to surrender in this material life?
By
just
chanting
say
the holy name.
That if I just say Krishna, I surrender to you, that's it? Or there is
surrender has to come from the heart. Surrender means I only do what Krishna likes. We surrender by chanting the holy name. We surrender by chanting the holy name, but Krishna knows our intention. See, externally we say so many things, but do we really mean it? Is it really coming from the heart? Am I only doing what Krishna likes?
No.
Because
if we love someone, we only do what that person likes, isn't it? If I do something that let's say I love my husband, or not, let's say I love my husband. So if I do something that he doesn't like, then where is the love then? So when we love someone means we do that which the person likes. That is how we show our love. So are we doing only what Krishna likes, or we are just externally saying that I surrender to you, O Krishna?
That's what I wanted to ask.
No, it has to come from the heart.
If it comes by heart, and then what's the process?
Chanting the holy name is the most potent process. There is nothing, I mean, it's the superset. Everything else comes with chanting. There are so many people who have come back to me after they started chanting, and they tell me that how it has transformed their lives. It really works. It really works. I would not waste 2 hours of my day every day chanting 16 rounds if I'm not getting anything out of it. Trust me,
I can see that personally. Naresh is chanting he started from 1 round, and today he's reached 21 rounds. And
so chanting Yes. So chanting brings everything else.
He doesn't even sleep. So I know, and it has really changed. You have seen how it has changed his life.
Yes,
Being
definitely.
from being a meat eater, smoking, drinking, and giving up everything at the same time and chanting, becoming a totally different person.
Yes.
So that is what is called surrendering?
Yes, surrendering means I only do what Krishna likes. Okay, and we begin it by chanting, because when we chant, then automatically we lose the taste for meat eating, alcohol, cigarette smoking, gambling. We automatically lose the taste. It happens by default. We don't have to separately endeavor. Okay, now no more meat eating. No, but the temptations would, because the mind will always tempt us. No, but when we chant, automatically we lose the taste for all these lower sense gratification propensities. It happens by default, and anybody can chant. There is no exception. Yeah, Mampi, Biswas.
Thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, basically, I face the problem what you have just mentioned some times ago, that on Ekadoshi days, as I don't take grains and I feel very sick, so that I have to lay up on the bed. So, and I can't do anything, any regular activities. So, what can be done for this?
So what is the level of Ekadasi that you are following is the next question, because there are 5 levels of Ekadasi fasting. Ekadasi does not mean that you have to starve the whole day. Ekadasi only means you don't eat grains, beans and pulses, but you can eat so many other things. You can have sabudana khichdi, you can have sabudana vada, you can have Ekadasi dosa, you can have Ekadasi puri, you can have yogurt, you can have fruits, you can have milk. There are so many things that you can have. You can have a salad. So what is the level of Ekadasi that you are fasting, that you are feeling weak?
I do eat, basically. I do eat milk, nuts, and fruits. But after then, I don't sufficient energy to do things.
So how many times a day you eat?
Basically, in regular days, I eat 3 times.
No, on an Ekadasi, I'm asking.
On Ekadoshi days, I eat 4 times. After 12 p.m.
Okay, so I would recommend that if you're feeling weak, you can have other Ekadasi foods, which is no grains, no beans, and no pulses. Like you can make yourself, even French fries you can have. And in India, are you in India?
Yes.
Yeah, in India, you get singare ka atta, you get kuttu atta. From that, you can make parathas, you can make puris. It's just non-grain. So you can follow the standard of having no grains, no beans, and no pulses. Other than that, you eat so that you don't feel weak.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
You're welcome. Shivani?
Yeah, Mataji, you said to make the sticks. So, इसमें दिया, I thought कि हम दिया जला सकते हैं.
हाँ, दिया भी जला सकते हैं, but sticks are more practical so that every family member, your daughters, your children, everybody can just take one stick in the morning and light it. Diya mein you have to wash the diya, again put the ghee, melt the ghee, light it. So but you can do it, no problem. Just for practicality, if you have the sticks ready, it's easy. Or agar ghar mein koi aaya gaya, you just tell him light one stick for his benefit, like that.
Okay, so tell me again about the sticks. Which sticks? You said cotton, by cotton, and what sticks we should use?
You get satay sticks, no? You know satay sticks?
No.
Okay, what do you call it? It's called brochetas in Espanol.
You can share
they put different things. They put paneer and vegetables and tomatoes and
is it bamboo sticks?
And then they put it in the oven. What's that?
Bamboo sticks, like chopsticks?
Bamboo sticks. Yeah, they're called bamboo sticks.
It's like this.
There, Bhumika has it.
Oh.
Or you can use even toothpicks that are made of wood, but new packet.
Wait, can you show it again? Can you show the sticks again, please?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
So she already has the cotton wrapped at the corner of the stick.
So it looks like a wood. Okay. So this can be bought from any place where they sell paint and brushes and
where they sell disposable items.
One more thing, can we also use tulsi
Yes,
sticks?
Mataji. Dry tulsi marine stick.
Yeah, you can use the dry sticks of tulsi marani. Not that if the tulsi plant has died a natural death, then the sticks of the tulsi devi can be used to make these. You wrap the cotton around her and you can offer it, but be very careful. This should be offered only to Krishna or Vishnu Tattva, nobody else, not even to Guru.
Okay.
Okay, somebody, Rajanji is saying don't use bamboo sticks because it causes cancer.
Bamboo sticks causes cancer just by burning it?
That's what is written in the chat. Don't use bamboo sticks. It causes cancer. So I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. Sorry, what's that?
By the inhalation of the smoke.
By the inhalation of the smoke. Okay. Okay, so then use the other statistics then. Or toothpicks. Toothpicks, the only problem with toothpick is it's very small, and if a child is offering it with a toothpick, probably the hand will get burned. So the statistic is a little longer than the toothpick. It's like 15 centimeters. So it's easier for a child. That's all.
So here, Mataji, we get like हमको ना दिए मिलते हैं बने बनाए काओ के गाय के उसमें घी के, so we can use that, right? In the
Yeah, you can use that if you're sure that there is no contamination in the ghee.
Okay.
Because what I do is I make the ghee in the house.
Oh.
But yeah.
So I bought ghee from the temple, from ISKCON temple. So I can use that, right?
So I would go, I would go with that.
So रुई का बना के हम कर सकते हैं दिया, right?
Correct. Yes, you can.
तो आप statistics का एक photo भेज दोगे? I'll try to find it.
I'll send you a photo. I'll send the photo in the group.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So 18th it begins. You all have enough time to make your sticks, ghee lamps, and keep it ready so that each member of your family can light the lamps. Okay, so the benefit is unimaginable.
Is the last day? Is the last day August 18th?
Okay, let me tell you the exact date. It begins on the 18th.
Yeah, it ends on August 17th.
1 minute. Yeah, 18 July to 15th August for Chile at least. So it depends on where you are located. But 18 July, it begins in Chile as well as in India. So this part of the world, so Western world and India also, it begins on the same date, 18 July. Ending date may vary by 1 day depending on where you are located. But I'll share the Vaishnava calendar. There is a link called Vaishnava calendar. You put your location there and it will tell you when it ends. But there is still time for that. What we have to worry about now, it begins on the 18th. So prepare with your lamps. And then we have 1 more month. Why are we thinking about when it's going to end? So we have time for that. We'll get to that later.
Sanam?
Yes.
Anything about we should avoid eating during this month, same as the Chaturdasya month that you avoid eating?
You must eat only prasad.
No, but like you have shared in the group, right? During some month you should not eat 4 things like
that is Chaturmasya. That is Chaturmasya. Yeah. Chaturmasya is it's of course good to follow, but it's not something that that Prabhupada insisted. Not every devotee in ISKCON at least follows Chaturmasya because it's a little more difficult for.
No, but the same as similar to that month, is it?
For Chaturmasya, in Chaturmasya, the last month of Chaturmasya is usually the month of Damodar, and we don't have Urad Dal. But Purushottam month is not like that.
It's not like that.
No, it's not like that.
From when does Chaturmas start?
It's already started.
It's already started. 1 second, let me go to my. 3rd July. So 17 July is the first month of Chaturmasya. In that month, we don't eat any leafy vegetable. So any leaf
from 3rd December. 3rd July.
Yes, yes. It's
not a-
starting on the 3rd July. Yeah, sorry. It's starting on the 3rd of July and it ends on the 17th of
Yeah.
July. And then again, actually, there are a lot of dates here. I will share it in the group. The thing is, the Purushottam month is coming in between of the Chaturmasya. So therefore, 3rd July to 17th July and then 17th August to 30th August. We have to follow the first month of no green leafy vegetables. And then second month of Chaturmasya, we don't have yogurt. That is from 31st August to 28th September. And then third month, no milk. That is from 29th September to 27th October. And then fourth month is Urad Dal, 28th October to 26th November. But the month of Chaturmas, the month of Purushottam, in the month of Purushottam, we don't observe this Chaturmasya fasting. That is from 3rd July. I'm sorry. That is from 18th July onwards. So the 1 month of Purushottam, we don't follow this Chaturmasya fasting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mataji, please share in the group.
I will share it right away.
I was told like
some Vaishnavas start Chaturmas from Ekadasi Mataji.
Yes. Some Vaishnavas started from Ekadasi, correct.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah.
Mataji, I have shared the pic.
I shared it already.
Mataji, so for Chaturmas, if we're observing from the Ekadashi, like green leafy vegetables, so broccoli we can eat, right? It's not a leafy.
Yeah, broccoli you can eat. You don't eat any kind of lettuce or cilantro.
Oh.
Any leaf you don't eat.
Okay.
What else? I see a lot of hands raised, but I don't know if you already asked the question or you have a new question.
Answer. I have got.
Okay, what else?
How many times can we offer the lamp in a day?
Minimum once. Some people morning and evening aarti. If you do aarti morning and also in the sandhya twice, there is no limit. Bhakti, there is no limit, but minimum is once, but every day. Don't miss the days.
Early morning, like during the Mangal Aarti, and then during the evening at 6 or 7 o'clock, we used to do it in Vrindavan.
Yeah, if you can follow that standard, you can follow that standard, but at least minimum once. See, some of us here are devotees for some years. Some of us are new. So if we tell a new person to do it early morning Mangal Aarti, next class, I'm not going to have them in the class. So we have to remember that Bhakti means we have to take baby steps. You take one step at a time.
Yes, Mataji, of course.
Okay. What else? So today was a day of question and answers, I think.
Yeah,
but it's nice. I like interactive sessions. I don't like to hear only my own voice. I like interactive sessions.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
But very
Anything
interesting
else?
class, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining. And
Mama. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Alright, take care,
Koti
everyone.
Dandat Pranam, Hare
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Krishna.
Kripasindhuvyaeva Patitanam
Patitanam,
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki
Prabhupada
jai.
ki jai.
Prabhupada
की जय एच श्री राम माता जी की जय
जय।
श्री गुरुदेव की जय
जय।
जय जय नित्यानंद जय जय गौरांग
Jai
थैंक
Jai
यू माता जी
Nityananda
कोटि
Gauranga.
कोटि
Thank
दंडवत
you.
प्रणाम
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Mataji. Hare
Namaste,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Dandavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.